This is a layout that I built a few years back for my club's raffle for their annual train show, and I thought I would take a few moments to show you how I did this dirt road. A lot of my friends in the club were interested in it, and so I'm going to take just a few seconds here to show you how easy it is to make a nice looking dirt road. Okay, because I am not 100% sure that my system for making simple, easy dirt roads will work on all types of ground cover, I'm going to show you my ground cover because I know it works on that. The tools I'm going to use, I have Woodland Scenics turf, some blended colors. I have a bucket of water with a brush that I'm going to use, an old cheap brush for spreading glue, and I have the my goodness, everything's coming apart. I have regular Elmer's white glue, and I have here a spray bottle with a mixture of Elmer's white glue and water. It's 20 parts water to 1 part. It has to be thin so that it sprays out. I also have Woodland Scenics earth undercoat. I have Monroe's dirty yellow weathering powder. You also might know it under the name AIM, or Adventures in Miniature. I have a spoon to apply the ground cover. I have a brush to mix the ground cover. I have a brush in which I've cut off almost all of the bristles, leaving me something to attach color to, and this is what I'll use to make the road. And of course I have an N-scale vehicle. I work in N-scale. I have an N-scale vehicle to show me the width that the track should be, that the tire track should make. All right, and the one last thing I need is a brush to apply the undercoat. I didn't have that ready. So now we're all ready to go. The first thing we're going to do is apply color. I'm going to shake this up. This is a water-based color. And for these purposes, I can put it right on. Now, it's not necessary for this to cover 100%. We just don't want to see anything pink. It can also be thinned. You can thin this very easily with water if you don't want to waste some like I wasted here. Let's try and save that. I think I can save some of that. The next step will be to add the glue, and I'll be back as soon as this finishes drying. All right, once it's dry, we'll put on our glue. This is full strength glue. And get my brush and leave it a little wet. It helps to spread the glue. Looks like I need a little more. And you do want to have 100% coverage with the glue, because you don't want, I suppose if a little piece of this earth color peeks through, that would be all right. It wouldn't be a huge problem. But we're trying to make it all coverage. And by the way, the turf that I get, I prefer the medium to the fine, but fine will work okay if you can't find it in medium. Just put it on a little thicker. Do not use the coarse, not an N-scale anyway. I suppose you could get away with the coarse in HO or up, but no, not an N-scale. You don't want coarse anything in N-scale. Okay, so once that is on, We'll start with this earth blend. Hit and miss, hit and miss. Because the area where the road is not a manicured road. Next, the green blend. And this is a blend of 2 different colors of green and some of the earth blend. Don't worry if you cover up all of one or the other. It'll, when I get at it with the brush and start mixing it, it will all come out. Now I need just a few spots of dark green. And a few spots of yellow or dead grass. And we'll get our brush and work them in together. And it doesn't matter if any glue gets into the bristles. When it dries, it'll pop right out because the glue dries brittle and the bristles are flexible. Okay, and I'm going to put a little more of, let's see, because I've got some bare spots down there. Now, if the area where you're going to make the road should have the cover on fairly thick. I mean, you don't want it thin to save on your on the cost of the ground cover. But it's really important to have it thick, because to make the road we're going to scrape away the ground cover. Okay, and now, well, let's whip this stuff out right here. Okay, and the next thing I use is my thin spray glue. Now this also has a little bit of an emulsifier, which is just Dawn dishwashing detergent, or any dishwashing detergent that has a grease cutter in it. That's an emulsifier, and that keeps it from beading. But as far as to how thin it should be, that should depend upon as long as the spray comes out in a spray and not in a dribble. You also want to hold back a little ways, because you don't want to blow the stuff all around. Now, because see, the glue on the bottom is the only thing that's holding it right now. So that's why I spray this glue on the top. And hopefully we'll be able to do it without losing too much of the cover, ground cover. You can see also I'm spraying it until I start seeing the white of the glue, because I want to make sure I have plenty of glue, because again, this what I'm spraying now is mostly water, but there's also glue mixed in, and that glue will adhere all around the ground cover, keep everything in, so that when I start scribing the dirt road, it will stand up to it, and the brush will not only apply the color, but it will break away the road, the ruts of the road as I'm going, and leave a rut because of the thickness of the ground cover. So we will let this dry, and the next step will be the dirt road. It's been about 18 hours since I finished applying the ground cover, and it is dry, but I like it to be cured a lot more, so I'm not going to be interested in this for doing the dirt road for at least another 24 hours, and probably a little more, because we want it really hard and brittle. But something that occurred to me this morning was you might like to see how I do weeds on a on the ground cover. Now, what I use for weeds, I use Woodland Scenics foliage. It's the type that you spread out like this, spread it out, and you see all the stuff that drops down. Well, I save that, and because it makes great weeds. Now I have two different colors. I have dark green and medium green mixed in here, and this is how I take care of it. We'll go ahead and spread some. We try to keep it light. Remember, I'm an N scale. That's not weeds, that's bush. And we just spread it lightly over. Like that. Depends on how weedy you want it. Now for glue, I use my regular 2-to-1, 2 parts water to 1 part white glue. This is the bottle that I use when I'm ballasting tracks, but I'm going to put that in a smaller bottle. I used to use the this eyedropper bottle, which worked well enough, except you have to keep going back to the bottle. So I took the advice of a friend of mine in the club, and I've got this old glue bottle, CA glue, super glue, and after I cleaned it out, I put it in here. It has a nice small tip for dispensing just what you want, and I will take that and just pour a little on each weed. Now I can hear some of you O-scalers saying that would take forever, you know, if your layout covers your whole basement. But as I said, I'm an N-scaler, and the biggest N-scale layout I've ever made was 6 feet by 3.5 feet, and it does not take long to do this. So I will continue to do this, and when I get ready to put in the road, I will show you the results. So I'll be back in about 36 hours. Right, I've got my ground cover ready. It's nice and hard, nice and brittle. I have my dirty yellow weathering powder and my brush with the bristles cut off short, and I will begin making my road. Now you can make your road anywhere you want it, but just get some yellow powder on the end of the brush and start pushing it in. Got a weed right there that doesn't want to pop off, but remember, dirt roads are not precise things. Now, depending upon your scale, you may want to use a bigger brush, but this is fine. Also remember that the ruts for the dirt road are going to be bigger than the wheels of your scale vehicle, because a dirt road is formed by many passages of vehicles over an area where the vehicle runs to least resistance. And that's why dirt roads are seldom straight, and why the ruts themselves are a little wider than the vehicle. So I just do one side, and I'll take it all the way to wherever I'm going. Then I use my N-scale vehicle to tell me where the other one should be. And I put it in. It's pretty easy. If when doing this you should expose, in this case, the pink foam underneath, you can touch up with paint if you feel it's necessary. Or maybe that's a good spot for some weeds. So put it in like this. And now remember, this particular system is used for a field area that has already been covered with ground cover. If you're starting new and want to put the road in right then, there are other ways to do it. I have a clinic titled Country Roads, and it shows the first part of the clinic is the dirt road, and I also show gravel roads and asphalt roads if you're interested in those things. But that's pretty much how the road goes. If you want to do a large area of dirt, you can put that in using a bigger brush and just covering it like that. And all of a sudden your ground is dirt. Alright, well, I hope this lesson was helpful for you. I've used this method on several layouts, and it's worked very well for me. And I hope to have another clinic for you soon. Thanks for watching.